All right, well, let's talk about something we've all done, but probably don't totally get: overthinking. We're going to get into the science of why our brains get stuck on repeat, and, most importantly, how to actually get them to stop.
You know the feeling, right? You're trying to work, trying to sleep, and your brain just latches onto one thought and will not let it go. It keeps replaying some awkward conversation or worrying about something that hasn't even happened yet. You're not going crazy, it's just how our brains are built.
And here's the wild part. Your brain is genuinely trying to do you a favor. It sees uncertainty as a puzzle that needs solving, and its go-to strategy is to imagine every single possible outcome. The only problem is, without any new facts, it just spins in circles, creating more anxiety instead of a real solution.
So to really get why our brains do this, we kind of have to go back in time and look at what they were originally designed for. It all comes down to how we handle the unknown. See, at its very core, the human brain is a prediction machine. Its number one job for thousands and thousands of years wasn't complex math or art, it was just to keep you alive. And the best way to stay alive? To make a really good guess about what's going to happen next. And this is really the heart of the issue. Our ancient brain wiring is living in a modern world. Our ancestors were dealing with life or death questions. Is that rustling in the grass a tiger? Will this berry kill me? Today, that same high alert system gets triggered by an unanswered text.
And that makes perfect sense, right? For our ancestors, what you didn't know could absolutely hurt you. That powerful survival instinct is still in charge, treating every little gap in our knowledge like a potential threat that needs to be figured out right now.
So the second that uncertainty alarm goes off, the brain starts spinning out scenarios. It almost always jumps to the worst-case possibilities because it's trying to get you ready for danger. It starts asking, and then it starts poking at our biggest insecurities. I mean, the fear of failure is a huge one, and the brain sees that as a very real and very dangerous potential outcome. And then, from there, it gets personal. We're social animals, so the fear of being judged or cast out is a deep, primitive survival fear. Your brain treats a social threat just as seriously as a physical one, imagining all the ways you can mess up in front of other people.
Now, all of this mental gymnastics isn't just happening in the abstract. It's triggering a real part of your brain called the amygdala. Think of it as your internal smoke detector. The problem is, it can't tell the difference between a real fire and a piece of burnt toast. It just senses uncertainty, yells threat, and puts your whole body on red alert. Okay, let's make this super concrete. Let's see how this ancient system plays out in a situation that I guarantee has happened to you.
This right here is the perfect storm for our ancient brain. You send a message out into the world, and now there's nothing. A void. It's a small thing, but to your brain, it's a huge flashing question mark. It's pure, uncut uncertainty.
And boom, the prediction machine kicks into overdrive. With zero new information to work with, it starts filling in the blanks, and it often starts with self-blame. This uncertainty must be my fault.
From there, the brain just keeps spiraling down that rabbit hole, exploring the potential social danger. What if they're mad at me? Now your amygdala is fully activated, treating this possible awkwardness like a genuine threat to your safety.
And finally, it lands on one of our deepest fears: humiliation. In that silent void left by the unanswered text, your brain will paint a vivid picture of your worst-case scenarios, all because it's desperate to solve the mystery.
And this gets to the great paradox of overthinking. Your brain's attempt to fix the problem is the problem. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. By just inventing negative stories, it doesn't find an answer. It just creates a vicious cycle of anxiety that leaves you stuck.
So, if we can't think our way out of the trap, what actually works? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, and it has to do with getting out of your head and into the world. This is probably the most important thing to remember. The cure for overthinking is not better thinking, it's action. Literally any action, no matter how tiny, can break the spell. It gives your brain something new to focus on instead of just its own guesses. Here's how that chain reaction works. First, you just do something. It doesn't have to be a big deal. It could be putting on some music, doing one dish, or just walking to a different room. That simple action gives your brain new, real-world data. That new data starts to shrink the uncertainty, and just like that, the loop starts to break down. And this is exactly why it's so effective. Action is what feeds that prediction machine in your head. You're giving it what it desperately craves: new facts. When you give it data, it no longer has to fill in the blanks with scary stories.
The uncertainty gets smaller. Your amygdala gets the all-clear signal, and that internal alarm finally shuts off.
So, the next time you feel yourself getting stuck in that spiral, don't try to outthink it. Just ask yourself this one question. What is one small, physical thing I can do right now to break this loop? Maybe it's making your bed. Maybe it's stretching for 30 seconds. That tiny step is your secret weapon.